former general manager, I mean, like, yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy for guys like
yeah, you need to go in the closet, and next time you come out with man, firing on people.
Well, that's why I spend time with guys like Howard.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's talk some basketball, Billy. Cavs GM Kobe Allman had a few more things on his to-do list than, say, oh, I don't know, God yesterday. He was tasked with saving the team, keeping LeBron, winning a title, and then making everyone in Cleveland happy. The only thing missing was world peace. Cavs, big busy yesterday. They sent off 6 players and a first-round pick, including Isaiah Thomas and Dwayne Wade, coming back, Larry Nance Jr., Jordan Clarkson, George Hill, and Rodney Hood. And they still saved that coveted Nets pick, which no one thought was possible. So, Billy, I'll start with you. What does this do for the Cavs' chances now, say, of coming out of the East, and then let's go move forward and say winning the title?
It gives them energy. You know, George Hill's coming in with energy. He was in Sacramento, not winning, not happy. Now he comes in with energy. Larry Nance Jr., Jordan Clarkson, they come in with energy. They're excited. They were losing in L.A., not going to make the playoffs. Now you kind of play with one of the greatest players, LeBron James. So they got a lot of young legs now. They had players that were trying to play defense, but they just couldn't do it physically. Yeah. Now they bring in young guys that can run around. And George Hill and Jordan Clarkson, they play the role of setup. They spot up, and LeBron can handle the basketball. They're better fit. Cleveland had a lot of guys that had to have the basketball. Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas. They needed the ball. These guys don't need the ball. So I think it's a great fit, and they got some young legs.
The fit part and the needing the basketball is so key. George Hill leads the NBA in three-point percentage, near the top of the NBA in spot-up shooting percentage. Now,
and can defend.
And it's certainly
a
more
foreign concept to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I mean, because
this year.
you know we got Kyle Korver. I mean, he is as good as shooting the ball, but he got problems guarding people. So how they fit together as a unit, I think, is more important than just the names of the players.
And I want to be candid with the audience here on George Hill. His three-point percentage is a little inflated this year because he seemed to be maybe passing up shots he shouldn't have been to make sure he can stay as the league's top three-point shooter. But he's been a 40% shooter the last 3 years of his career. So 45 might be a little high, but a 40% three-point shooter. Rodney Hood, a 40% three-point shooter this year. More young legs. And the Cavs' biggest issue, in addition to how bad they were as a team defensively, is offensively. They had the least efficient backcourt in the NBA all year. So you add George Hill, Rodney Hood, and Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench, not to mention Larry Nance, who can do what they paid Tristan Thompson to do. Energy, rebounding, defense, and you gave up zero production.
Yeah. Well, the thing about I like Larry Nance Jr. because of the fact he gives them energy and toughness inside. Channing Frye was a guy who was going to spot up, but he wasn't going to go in there and bang.
Yes.
Now you have Larry Nance Jr. You can throw him in there. Now he'll bang with guys. He'll get the energy. They'll get extra offensive rebounds with him, extra points with him, just getting rid of those rebounds.
Billy, I would say one of the biggest issues that this team have, aside from offensive and defensive, was chemistry. These players couldn't find a way to gel and make it work, whether it went through LeBron or it didn't. Now you have all these new players, and I'm wondering, what's the time looking like for these players to get going? They only have a couple games in like a 13-day stretch or whatnot, so they do have a little bit of time to get. But where do you see is their time frame to find some chemistry?
That's the hardest thing is now with these 30 games to play. But the greatest thing having LeBron because he's going to handle the basketball. He's going to direct guys, tell them where to spot up. It's not like they run an intricate offense where the guy's got his back cuts and so it's going to be more spacing out. And these are pros. I mean, it's almost like going to pick up basketball. I understand get in space where LeBron can find you and he'll get you the ball because he's going to drive and penetrate for those guys. So I do think they had time. I remember we made the trade from Mutombo in 2001 in Philly. After that, we had a losing record the rest of the year. Even though we did get to the finals, we had a losing record with Mutombo. Because it's hard to blend them in and get in because just you don't have that practice time.
Right, and Mutombo, trying to fit him into a system is a lot different than the other players. Cleveland, when they were most successful this season, LeBron had the basketball. Yeah. That stretch where they went through, they were 19 out of 21, that LeBron was the point guard. Now, if you look at the trades, when you look at the players and the type of players, they can play that style. But what also this trade gives them, they can play like Ty Lue. One of the problems he had, Kyrie Irving, was Kyrie's inability or wanting to push the basketball. They were too old, too. Once they got rid of Kyrie, they were an old basketball team. So they can't run. They can't play transition offense on a regular basis, also because their rebounding was not very good. Now with the young legs that they've added, people like Nance, Hood, and George Hill, these guys can get out into the break. And LeBron is one of the best transition players in NBA history. So not only have they got better spot-up shooters, not only they got better chemistry, but now they can play at a different pace that they didn't have before.
And the advanced stats back up, Chris. George Hill and Rodney Hood, despite the fact that they are on different teams, two of the most efficient players in transition in the NBA this year. The Cavs are trying, by the way, the Cavs during this terrible stretch of basketball have been playing at the third fastest pace in the league. They've been playing that style with guys who can't do it.
Yes.
Now, as far as the chemistry goes, here's why it's a little different than what they were trying to do at the beginning of this year. This year, they were trying to fit in players who, in their career, had been the best players on their team. Hey, Derrick Rose, we want you to fit in.
Wow.
You've been an
Yes.
MVP. Guess what? You're the 9th best player on the
Be a
team.
role player.
Isaiah Thomas, when you come back, come fit in. You were 5th in MVP voting last year. You're the 3rd or 4th best guy.
And Dwayne Wade. We did not need Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade's a great teammate, but we did not need Dwayne Wade to be LeBron's best friend.
No.
Because we needed LeBron to open up to the other players, and when LeBron had Dwayne Wade, he could use him on the side and only communicate to D-Wade.
So George Hill is back in the role he was at when he was at his best last year in Utah, where
Or
he's
in Indiana.
or
Yes,
Indiana as
with
well.
Paul George as a sidekick.
Secondary option to Paul George, secondary option to Gordon Hayward. Rodney Hood, where he's been in Utah this year. Now, he's one of their better players because Gordon Hayward left because of the injuries, but where he's thrived. These guys aren't used to having teams run offenses around them. So that part of the transition will be better. And let's not forget, one of Jenna's big points throughout the year, Kevin Love's been at his best when he was their secondary option. Guess what? He gets to be, when he comes back, their secondary option once again.
Because all these guys are willing to just fit in and be a piece. They're going to come in and just say, what do you want me to do? I just want to win. I don't care about how many shots I get. Isaiah was about getting the contract and getting shots. And unfortunately, he's not going to L.A. and now doesn't want to come off the bench. So, good luck to him.
Really quickly, do the Cavs suddenly become the favorites in the East?
I think I never had him out there because I think on the show I said I'd never count LeBron out. I think when you get in the playoffs, I still love Toronto. I just think they've got the experience and they got younger, so I do like them. I'm not discounting Boston, but I do like Toronto's experience and their depth. I just can't bet against LeBron.
If it clicks right for them,
yes.
hold on, I'm going to follow up with one more. If it clicks right for them, do they have a better chance in the finals this year than they did last year?
Yes, hands down.
Okay.
Because I think they're much more athletic, and I think they're much more cohesive than they were last year in the finals.
Billy, thank you so
Billy.
much for
Good to
hanging
see
out
you.
with us.
Absolutely.
Always love having you here.
Don't be winking at me.